Sara, 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 she is just like you.
लागा चुनरी में दाग, चमेली, चांदनी bar, pretty woman. There was a girl named Farida. She was a college student and who enjoyed her college life. However, she was influenced by her rich friends. She wanted extra pocket money to fund her lifestyle, to buy gadgets and gizmos like her friends, and really have a good time of her life. She met a friend, an event organizer, who encouraged her to attend parties, pubs, corporate events, and attend to men of various kinds. The men also paid her money and gave her the freebies in the form of a good lifestyle. Soon her life became full of fun and excitement. She started fooling her parents and teachers, saying that she was attending to college during the day and extra classes in the evening, or perhaps even staying overnight with her friends for studying. However, she was having a secret life. She was dating the rich men. Sometimes there were cricketers, there were model actors, there were actors, movie stars, business people, and even politicians. Her life was a wonderful ride, with breakfast in Paris with a Frenchman, lunch in London with an Englishman, and dinner perhaps in Dubai with a sheikh. This was her life until the bubble broke and she found herself in a dance bar, miserable and poor, with nothing left. At her latter age, she had nothing to offer. This is the story of riches to rags. Her life was miserable. Are you a woman who's a bored housewife, who has nothing to do with her time? So in order to kill your loneliness, you have become a social escort as a full-time profession. Or perhaps you are a media person who feels that this is the way the world of media or an actor's work. So it's better to be a social escort and become a bar dancer and entertain men so that you can get work. Or perhaps you are a bored student who wants some extra money for time pass, for leading an extravagant lifestyle. Or are you a corporate woman who feels that it's all right as far as you're getting your work done? So it's better to go for parties, indulge in dancing, and perhaps even go on excursions with men to lure them into business. Are you a social escort or a bar dancer? Today we have with us Reshi, who is a freelancer with women in various newspapers and has written a lot of articles on women escort and bar dancers.
Hello Varsha. Hello everyone.
Reshmi, could you please tell that why women from good homes, schools, good families, and good lifestyle, having a good family system, are getting into this profession as a social escort or becoming women escort in general?
Yes, I heard your introduction, and I do believe the points you have mentioned in the story of Farida. Along with that, I would like to add that every human being has a desire to become wealthier, happier, and then richer and acquire a very good lifestyle. So this is one of the reasons why the people, especially girls and women, are getting into it. Secondly, as such, the women who are very lone and living a very boredom life, they want to have fun and excitement. So again, they think this is the one of the best way to overcome their boredom and the loneliness. And sometimes, what happens, these girls and women are very fantasized. When they see adult movies or love making scenes, posters, and then through internet, they become very much into this, and it is a human nature to be very experimental, and then they are into this profession. And then again, these kids, the children, the housewives, the college students, they are misguided by the people, and then they come into this profession for this kind of, such a superficial status. So this kind of, superficial status, they are into it for this. And then this Western influence actually make them very much into it, because they see this is a very quick, very shortcut and easy way to get the money. So they indulge themselves to get into this profession. And again, when nobody is watching, you can do anything. So I mean, like parents, friends, relatives, they do not bother, or they do not actually guard into them to look what their kids or their wives or daughters or sisters are doing. So they are into a free ride. So this is the best way you can get into it and make a good and easy money and have a lavish and extravaganza lifestyle. And sometimes it happens in corporates due to the peer pressure that you want to excel in your professional life, you want to go ahead better and in an easy way and in a lesser time than the others. And so you start accompanying your clients to the social parties, and then you're going with them in the conferences, and then finally you are physically attached with them. So again, this getting promoted, getting more money, getting more power in your own office is again one of the reasons this wives, housewives, the corporate girls, the students are indulging themselves in the profession like social escort.
But I've also heard that sometimes the husbands also encourage their wives to go and like really promote themselves to get business, or sometimes even the family is supporting them because they feel that they're getting an income coming over to their houses. So the parents also support their girls and their daughters to becoming a social escort. At least they are earning money and coming home.
Yes, I do agree with you. There are very families, business families, husbands who really encourage their wife, and also forcefully, that they should become a social escort for their clients, so that they can get business, they can get the investors, and they can make more money, more profit from their small business, and then they can start a lavish life, status in the society, and become a business tycoon in their own circle. So yes, they do that. Some of the families, like mothers or fathers who are not in very good earning terms, they want their girls, their daughters, their sisters to be into this profession so that they can get money. And sometimes what happens, they themselves send their females to the people, and then they go and say, search for the, the bakras, so that you can help themselves, they can help their daughters, and finally they are living a good life. So it's nothing with the emotions or nothing with the anything with the feelings. It's all about the monetary terms.
However, what about those conservative families, which are like really struggling to make a living, a middle class mentality, and they are not exposed to this kind of culture. So it must be a real psychological shock, for such parents to discover that their children behind their back, or their girls from good homes, or they are even women, wives of some men are becoming social escort. So it must be a real cultural shock for such middle class families, where they are exposed, and when they discover that their children or their wives are having a secret lifestyle. What must be the psychological effect of such kind of lifestyle on the family?
Yes, very true. I mean, it is for both the sides, whether it's women who are into this profession, or the parents or the families who actually disclosed by their professions. So I will start with the females who were into this profession, and then they get disclosed. So then they get started, using drugs. They get addicted to the alcohol because they cannot take this pressure from the society. Then they get addicted to the alcohol. And then what happened, the main pressure that they feel is the boycott from their families, friends, relatives, teachers, schools, everywhere. And then what happened, when they are into it, then the people come to know, the society again start rejecting them. So generally what happens, they have to leave their own space, and when they are going through all these pressures from society, from families, from the unknown people, and then finally they develop a kind of suicidal tendency, and a lot of female, these young girls, they try to even suicide. And if I talk about from the parent side, yes, they have to go through all kinds of taunt and criticism from the society, from the people around them, from the relatives, from the friends, and that becomes very much shocking for them. And then secondly, the place where they are living, maybe there is own place, but they have to keep shifting because they cannot stay there because of this kind of environment they are facing. And then again, there's a feeling of disown their own, like maybe husbands disown their wife, a kid disown her mother, a sister, anyone from your loved ones you are disowning. So this is a very painful stress and depression for the parents also.
Well, Reshmi, what about these agencies? There are these coordinators which run these social escort companies, whereby they advertise in the newspapers openly about fun and frolic. Women come and earn extra income or free excursions, and offering freebies to lure models and actors to come and pose themselves. And what are these agencies? I mean, what is the secret agency? What is the hidden agenda behind these social escorts and fun clubs?
Yes, Varsha, there are coordinators who actually runs this female escorts, and there are clubs, entertainment clubs, who actually organize these parties, then the picnics, then the conferences. They're actually for these people who really need these escorts, and these agencies and the coordinator, they actually supplies this girl on the requirement, and then this kind of business keep going on. So the people who are into it, they are getting good money, the coordinators, the escorts, and finally it's like a monetary deal between the escort, the coordinator and the client. So the clients can be business corporate clients, can be sportsmen, can be celebs, or can be politicians. So any of these people who can actually put their money into it and can have this excitement and fun and enjoyment. So they go through this kind of entertainment clubs, and these coordinators are actually into this sort of activities just to supply this girls.
Okay. There is another section of social escort, that is bar dancers. The Supreme Court, I have heard, is given sanction to Indian bar dancers to reopen the bars in India. So could you please highlight on that?
Yes, Varsha, long back, almost 11 years back, the bar dancers were they come in a halt because the dance bars are closed.
In Indian scenario.
Yes, in Indian scenario. So what happens, because they were not having any livelihood, they were not having any way to earn anything, and because they need to take care of their parents, kids, husbands, livelihoods, schools, fees and everything. So then they start becoming the escorts. And that actually started because of the closure of this dance bar clubs. Then what happened? These girls start joining the agencies and coordinators, I told you just now. So what happens that these coordinators and agency send them to the social parties, and then they start working as a social escorts. So now what happened, after 11 years, the Supreme Court has now given a report that yes, the bar dancers can now start earning as a bar dancers, and this dance bars are now reopened. But yes, they have to go through the norms and conditions and rules to adhere, so that they, to prevent the nudity, the vulgarity, and the definitely the kind of obscenity used to happen earlier. Yes, if they follow these guidelines, they can open up. Now there's another norms that the pick and drop facility should be provided to these bar girls to protect them from get into the prostitution and those kind of or escort professions. And then they want that they should be appointed some doctors, the gynecologists, special doctors for them, so that if they have any kind of medical problems, they can go and attend them, they can consult with them, so that they can have a medical report, they can have a medical support to them. And then finally what they want that the bar owners, they should have a fixed salary for them, so that they do not indulge themselves to the prostitution or the social escorts, and they can retain themselves to the as a bar dancers, and then they can earn good money, and they can go ahead to support their life partners, the kids, school and livelihood and everything, and so then they can go ahead with.
How do you think, the educational system, along with parents and teachers, can be vigilant and make sure that, the girls are not, led astray or gone, lured into this profession? Or even if a woman, by chance she gets into this profession by mistake or just, to support her lifestyle, how she is, brought back into the mainstream of society and given the due respect and kind of, this kind of support so that she can live her life with dignity. How do you think that, we as a system can take responsibility?
Yes, what I believe, Varsha, that parents' role is very important. What I understand, as soon as your kids and especially the women, the girls when are into their teen age, they should become friends to them, so that whenever they are into problem, they can discuss with their parents. And when they can discuss with their parents, yes, if they are facing any kind of problem or peer pressure or anything, they can always help them, and that definitely leaves them a proper way. Again, then it's a upbringing. Then parents should actually talk to their kids very frankly and tell them their financial status, so that they know how long they can go for it. So just for the lavish life, they shouldn't indulge themselves into this business. Then again, the parents should talk to their kids very frankly, that if somehow they're into this profession or thinking of just to have excitement or the fun, what are the side effects or the bad effects, to their life psychologically, mentally, physically, all the ways. Secondly, I would say in a society or the schools, the colleges, the education system should have counseling system in everywhere, so that any girl, any women who are having a different kind of mannerism, and they can observe that, and they can guide these girls in a proper way, counsel them, so that they do not go in a wrong way.
Any experience do you think you can share of any girl?
Yes, I would say there was a girl who was a student to a college, and she was anyhow indulged into this profession. They get into this profession, and then she suddenly disclosed, and people came to know that yes, she is a kind of social escort.
So Reshmi, could you give any experience from your cases that you have written in various newspapers about any girl child who was who was misrestigated from college?
Yes, actually there was a girl, she was quite young, but somehow she get into this profession, and one day it happens like, she was disclosed, and everybody came to know that yes, she is a social escort. So the college, what I would say that they should handle it in a proper way, and but they made it an issue to her, and then what happens that she got restricted from the college, and then again boycott from the family, friends and social circle, and finally her entire life was like a mess, and right now even we don't know where she is up to.
That is really sad. In fact, the school and the parents, everybody should have taken responsibility and really rehabilitated that child instead of making it an issue and throwing her out of school or the system.
Yes.
That is where I feel the system has a very important role to play, and the parents, the teachers have to be vigilant, at the same time supportive, so that the children are not misled, or even a woman is not gone astray and takes on this profession as a lifetime opportunity or an option.
And secondly, as a citizen, as a society member, we should, give a second chance to these women, these girls. If someone is out of this profession or wanted to leave this profession, we should give them that respect, the support, the help, and acceptance for the society, so that they can always feel that yes, if I'm into this profession and I want to get out of it, there is a support system to me. And one thing is very important, that we should educate everyone. Maximum education can make these girls, women very independent. And always the education open your mind system, open your understanding system, and then you understand what is correct, what is incorrect. And then you can protect yourself from getting into this kind of profession and become
self-reliant.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that if a person is, if a woman is self-reliant, she's independent, and she learns to live her life with dignity, where she's looked upon with respect, and where she can really make a mark in the society, like then it's very natural that she will not resort to such kind of below degraded kind of jobs, which is underclass kind of jobs, such kind of profession.
Very true, very true. I agree with you.
Well, the good and evil, the God and the Satan exists within us. And each one of us, no matter how degraded or upper class or middle class, we have the ability to judge, the ability to have the intuitive power to be able to filter, the good from the bad, the negative from the positive, and to filter out, our own weaknesses, our own shallow self, which kinds of, plays a kind of, hindrance and obstructs us from leading an upgraded and a good quality life. So how do you think, that women in general can upgrade their standard of life and can upgrade their, lifestyle in a manner that they are not lured into such a profession and are not trapped by such kind of negative influences of life, and are able to lead a dignified and respectful life rather than getting caught up in this false, superficial status quo?
See, the only way I think is that they have to walk through the path of truth, justice. They should be abide by the law of dharma, and they should try to create good thing out of the negatives. They should try to create and realize the peace in themselves through the healing process, find themselves near to God, the cosmos, the universe, and try to get good things and try to help others, and by helping others they can make themselves better. What I would say, if any woman or girl has gone through a traumatized incident, first step should be that they should go and take help from the law, so that they can get the justice. But to heal their own wounds, it should be spiritual. They should start talking to the people, helping the people who are always who has gone through this kind of traumatized incidents. Then they should help people to make laugh, to make good things for them. Then they can do meditation. They can find themselves near to God. They should seek peace in themselves, and they should grow themselves with a positive power, a confidence, and they should have that power to fight back, and then only they can uplift their life. They can be a better human being and can gain the respect in the society. So this kind of spirituality is very important.
In other words, a value creation. That if you are being, victimized, and if it is your karma to suffer maybe due to a rape or being, used by brothel owner, to really heal yourself and come out and really become a savior for other women, to make your learning, your life, a lesson, so that other people can get, a kind of inspiration rather than being traumatized, victimized, repressed, and all the time complaining and, getting into that pitying mode. I feel that women should really stand up and really become, powerful, empowered people who can really become a source of great inspiration for others.
Yes, if the women, the girls are independent, they can take their own decisions. They know what is right and what is wrong, what is positive, what is negative. No one can stop you, and no one can influence you for a bad company or in a not appropriate profession. So it's always from free education, spirituality, healing process, meditation, and strong willpower can actually overcome all these kind of professions.
Thank you for watching, Sara. And viewers, please write to us your views and your experiences, perhaps your encounters with bar dancer or your becoming a social escort could be a learning lesson for millions of other women who are waiting to get inspired by you. Thank you for watching Sara, She Is Just Like You. Thank you, Reshmi, for sharing your views with us on Sara, She Is Just Like You, and for encouraging and inspiring and educating women who are watching Sara, She Is Just Like You.
Thank you, Varsha. Thank you, everyone.
I had a friend named Meenakshi whom I met in a bar in Paris. She was telling me her story that how as a young woman she was often molested and went through a lot of troubles with her siblings and brothers and cousins who took advantage of her. So as a result, as a young woman, when she grew up, she became a full-time social escort. And she lured men and took advantage of them by taking away their money, exploiting them psychologically, and then eventually dumping them. That was her lifestyle. That was how she spent her time, becoming a woman escort and a woman who was a hooker and used to lure men in the bars. Later she met a good friend, a teacher, a guide who guided her and brought her on the right path. And as a result, she started pursuing PhD in Boston University. She became a professor in intercultural relations and started working for peace. Today, after 20 years, she called me and she reported that she is one of the most highly educated and most respected professor who teaches children intercultural relations and hold dialogues with world leaders to have peace. Sometimes she travels to unite India and Pakistan, or Japan and Korea, or even West and East Germany. That is her profession now. She is the most highly respected woman who works for world peace and is working for intercultural exchange program. This is what Sara is: a friend, a guide, and a philosopher. Sara, your show. Sara, she is just like you.
Sara, 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 she is just like you. Sara, 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 she is just like you. No more tears, no more doubt, no more pretense. Now I will walk along the path of happiness. My heart is brimming with courage and joy, and I will grow with my might every day. Sara, 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 she is just like you. Sara, 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 she is just like you. And this is a song of total victory. And I determine, no matter what, I'll surely win. No matter what, I'll surely win. Never give up, never give in, to reaffirm my youthful vow. Everywhere I seek Sara. Sara, 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 she is just like you. Sara, 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 she is just like you. Sara, she's just like you.